You pull into the lot driving a 2009 Civic with a cracked side mirror and 180,000 miles on the clock. Nobody comes out to greet you. You walk past 3 salespeople. They glance up. They look back down. You are invisible. And that exact moment tells you everything you need to know about how this industry actually works. Car dealerships are not in the business of selling cars. They are in the business of reading people fast. Before you say a single word, before you shake a single hand, a calculation has already been made about who you are, what you can afford, and how much time you are worth. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that the car you arrive in is one of the single strongest signals a salesperson uses to predict your buying power. You are not a customer yet. You are a data point. So what does that actually look like? What happens to you at every level, from the beat-up $5,000 car to the $300,000 exotic you pulled up in on a Tuesday afternoon? The answer is not what you think, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Start at the bottom. You are driving something old, something with rust on the wheel wells and a check engine light that has been on so long you named it. You pull into a dealership, maybe a big franchise lot, maybe a used car superstore, and the treatment you receive is shaped by one assumption before you even open your mouth. The assumption is that you are stretched, that whatever you buy, you will be financing, that your credit score is somewhere between uncomfortable and genuinely bad. Salespeople trained in what the industry calls lot reading will approach you eventually, but the pitch will be different. The questions shift immediately to monthly payments, not total price. Monthly payments. How much can you do per month? That question is not innocent. It is a trap. Ian Aries, a Yale law professor who studied racial and economic discrimination in car dealerships across the United States, found that buyers who focus on monthly payments instead of total price consistently pay thousands more over the life of a loan. The dealership is not helping you afford the car. It is helping you forget what the car actually costs. At this level, the back office is where the real transaction happens. You agree on a price. You feel okay about it. Then you sit down with the finance manager, and suddenly there are options. Gap insurance, extended warranties, paint protection, tire and wheel coverage. Each one presented as a small addition. Each one quietly folded into your monthly number, so you never feel the full weight of what you just agreed to. By the time you drive off the lot, you have paid significantly more than you thought you would, and the dealership knew you would. Now move up. You are driving something mid-range. 3-year-old sedan, clean, nothing flashy. Maybe a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord. You pull in and something shifts. Someone comes out within 2 minutes. They smile. They ask your name. The conversation is friendlier, but the architecture underneath it is the same. You are now assumed to be financially stable enough to buy something real, but not so wealthy that you will walk away from a deal. You are the ideal target. Ian Aries found in his research that buyers in this middle-range presentable, employed, seemingly reasonable are the ones who get the most negotiation theater. The salesperson will leave the room 3 times to check with the manager. The price will come down in small, dramatic drops. You will feel like you won. In most cases, you did not win. You arrived at a number the dealership was comfortable with from the beginning. The theater was designed to make you feel like you fought for it, so you would stop fighting. Studies on what behavioral economists call the anchoring effect, first documented formally by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman in 1974, show that the first number you hear in a negotiation sets a psychological ceiling that is almost impossible to escape. The sticker price is not a real price. It is an anchor. Everything that follows is measured against it. So when the number comes down $2,000, you feel the victory of those $2,000, not the reality of what you actually paid. At this level, the experience is professional. Polished, there is coffee, maybe a bottle of water. The test drive is offered without hesitation. You are treated like a buyer, because you are. And that treatment is calibrated to keep you comfortable enough to sign. Now watch what happens when the car in your hands changes. You pull in driving a late-model luxury sedan, a BMW 5 Series, a Mercedes E-Class, a fully loaded Audi. You have not said a word. You have not introduced yourself. But the lot knows. Someone is at your window before you finish parking. Not a junior salesperson, a senior one. Someone who has been doing this for 15 years and knows exactly how to talk to someone who does not need to be sold, only confirmed. The pitch at this level is not about price. It is about identity. You will hear words like exclusive, curated, reserved. The product is presented as something that was already yours. You are simply completing the formality of taking it home. Discounts still exist, but they arrive differently. Not as victories pulled from a reluctant manager, but as quiet acknowledgments between two people who understand how things work. Robert Cialdini, whose research on influence and persuasion at Arizona State University has shaped how entire industries train their salespeople, identified what he called the principle of social proof and authority combined. At the luxury level, dealerships deploy both simultaneously. You are shown other buyers like you. You are handed over to specialists. The environment itself signals that people of a certain caliber choose this. You are not being sold something. You are being welcomed into something. The psychological move is entirely different and it works. Now go higher still. You are pulling in with something that costs over $100,000. A Porsche, a Range Rover, a fully optioned pickup truck that costs more than most people's first homes. The lot does not treat you like a customer anymore. It treats you like a guest. You may be offered a private test drive arranged for a different time. You may speak with someone who knows your name before you give it, because someone called ahead. You are in a system now, a relationship system. Research from Bain & Company on luxury automotive retail found that buyers at this level return to the same salesperson 80% of the time, often for decades. The transaction is almost secondary. What is being sold is continuity, trust, the feeling that this person knows you. The financing conversation, if it happens at all, is handled with discretion. Nobody talks about monthly payments. Nobody talks about what you can afford. The assumption is that affordability is not the question. The question is which configuration suits you best. And then there is the top, the absolute top. You arrive in something that stops other people on the lot. A Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Rolls-Royce. $300,000 machine that most people will only ever see in photographs. And here is where the entire system inverts in a way that most people never expect. At this level, the dealership does not sell to you. You qualify to buy. Brands like Ferrari have been known to maintain wait lists not based on money, but on relationship history. There are documented cases of wealthy buyers being denied the purchase of a high-demand model because they had not bought enough from the brand previously. Money at this level is assumed. What earns you the car is loyalty, history, status within the brand's own ecosystem. You can have $300,000 in cash and still be told no. The researcher Michael Norton at Harvard Business School, who has studied how the ultra-wealthy experience luxury markets, found that exclusivity itself becomes the product at these price points. You are not buying the car. You are buying the right to say you were chosen for it. Step back and look at the full picture. From the cracked mirror on the 2009 Civic to the rolls in the reserved bay, you have not moved through different cars. You have moved through different realities. The same industry, the same transaction, entirely different experiences based entirely on what you arrived in. And here is the part that stays with you. The person who got the worst deal was not the one who bought the most expensive car. It was the one who needed the car most. The one who needed reliable transportation to get to work, to pick up their kids, to keep their life running. That person was the most aggressively monetized. The one who needed it least was treated with the most respect, given the most time, offered the most genuine relationship. That is not an accident. That is a design. And the next time you pull into a lot, regardless of what you are driving, knowing that design exists, is the only advantage that actually matters. Because the moment you walk in knowing how you are being read, you stop being a data point, and you start being something the system was never built to handle. A person who sees it clearly,